You just got disrespected, interrupted, or attacked, and you said nothing. Or worse, you reacted, lost control, and now you're replaying it in your head, thinking about what you should have said. And the worst part isn't what they said, it's the feeling that you lost control of the situation. Here's what most people don't understand. In any argument, the winner isn't the one who talks more, and it's definitely not the one who talks louder. The winner is the one who stays in control while the other person loses it. And once you understand this, you won't just respond better. You'll make it almost impossible for people to throw you off in the first place. Because this isn't about words, it's about psychological control. Before we get into the situations, you need to understand the biggest mistake people make. They think winning means being more aggressive, faster, sharper. So they interrupt, raise their voice, fire back instantly. But all of that comes from one place: emotional loss of control. And the moment you lose control, you've already lost, even if you're technically right. Real power doesn't come from reacting. It comes from not being pulled into the other person's emotional game. When you don't respond the way they expect, you break their entire strategy. And to do that, you don't need anything complicated. Start with something small. Delay your response by just 2 to 3 seconds before you speak. That pause alone gives you back control. Now, let's get into the first battlefield: being interrupted. You're speaking, and someone cuts you off, changes the topic, and basically erases you from the conversation. Most people try to talk louder or fight for space. That's a mistake. Instead, stop completely. Say nothing. Look at them with a neutral expression. Wait a couple of seconds. Then calmly say, "Are you finished?" The power isn't in the words, it's in the delivery. Slow, steady, emotionless. You're not competing for space. You're reclaiming it. If that feels too intense, start smaller. Just pause for 2 seconds when someone interrupts you. That silence alone shifts the dynamic. Second battlefield: direct insults. Someone calls you stupid or attacks you personally. Your instinct is to fire back. That's the trap. Their goal isn't to debate, it's to pull you into emotion. The move is simple. Ignore the insult and redirect to the argument. For example, "So your point is that method A is better than B? Explain that." You've just refused to play their game. Here's a small trick to help. Every time you hear something triggering, exhale slowly once before responding. That one breath breaks the automatic reaction. Third battlefield: passive-aggressive behavior, sarcasm, hidden shots, comments that sound harmless but aren't. If you react directly, you look overly sensitive. If you ignore it, it lingers. The solution is to bring it into the open. You make the invisible visible. For example, "Sounds like you disagree. Want to say it directly?" You're not attacking, you're removing ambiguity. And without ambiguity, they lose their advantage. If you want to keep it simple, just ask, "What do you mean?" That question alone shuts down most passive-aggressive behavior. Fourth battlefield: people who don't listen. They interrupt, dismiss everything you say, and are just waiting for their turn to talk. Most people try to explain more. That only makes it worse. Instead, reflect the behavior. Say, "I notice you interrupt me every time I speak. Do you actually want a conversation, or do you just want agreement?" Now they have to face their own behavior. If you want a softer version, just say, "Let me finish first." That alone resets the structure. All of this leads to one core principle. The person who controls their emotions controls the conversation. Not the smartest, not the loudest. To maintain that control, there are 5 signals you need to train. Speak slightly slower than normal. Keep your voice lower than theirs. Use silence instead of filling every gap. Maintain open, stable body language. And hold eye contact. You don't need to do all of them at once. Start with just one. For example, slow your speech down by 10%. That alone creates a noticeable shift. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The goal isn't to win the argument. The goal is to not lose yourself in it. When you stay in control, your presence alone changes the outcome. Try this for 1 week. Pick one situation where you usually lose control, and next time it happens, don't try to say something smarter. Just pause before you respond. You'll notice something interesting. When you don't react immediately, the other person starts losing momentum. And that's when you take control. In the end, real victory in an argument isn't making the other person go silent. It's making them realize they can't affect you. That's how you dominate, without ever raising your voice. If you're ready to apply this, try it this week. And if you want to keep leveling up your communication and control, Make sure to follow so you don't miss what's next.